Greetings, Traveler. Today we are going to be looking through my cube. Now, if you don't know what a cube is, I do have a video that explains it, but also if you just want a quick little uh, summary of what a cube is, it's basically a sealed magic set that I made that kind of simulates sealed magic games. So, today we're going to be looking through the green selection. Let me know anything that that you think should be added or removed, and yeah, I'll point out anything that I'm thinking of adding or removing. If you have any feedback on the cards I have in here, let me know. So to start things off, we're going to be covering three card types that there's not that many of within this cube for each color really. So we're going to have Planeswalkers, Artifacts, and Enchantments. That's going to be the first section that we'll do. Here we got Garruk Primal Hunter. Very nice Planeswalker. Are there better? Yes, but it definitely works well in a nice little sort of low to medium powered cube. Sorry if there's a glare. I am working on trying to fix that, and not exactly the easiest thing recording at this time of day. Only artifact in green, we have a Rosethorn Halberd. A lot of non-humans in this cube, so it works out pretty well. On to enchantments, we have Kenrith's Transformation, New Horizons, Path of Discovery, which works very well specifically in the graveyard decks. Got Fungal Plots, Feral Invocation, Frontier Siege. Love this in Commander. Let me take a quick drink real quick. And now we will move on to instants and sorceries, since I sort of lump them all together because they're very similar card type. Now, to start off, we have got a copy of Rabid Bite. Don't know how well it's showing, but this is in fact a foil copy. We have a Vastwood Fortification, and this is one of those not transformed either, modal dual-face cards, if I'm not mistaken. That's what we're calling them. So you can either play it as this land or this spell, and honestly, for 1 mana, works pretty well. I love these cards in the cube. They provide a lot of, they provide a lot of help. We have Mrs. Pilgrimage, Sylvan Scrying, Scale the Heights, Prey Upon, got Plummet. I'm not sure if there's any others. I feel like this is one of the few cards that I put multiples of it, but we'll see. We have Grow from the Ashes, which obviously you need a fair bit of a ramp in green. Got Scatter the Seeds. We have Gaia's Blessing, Migration Path, Return to Nature, which is a very, very good form of removal spell, since 3 different modes, and they can help in a lot of different ways. You're working against a graveyard deck, or if enchantments, artifacts aren't that present in the cube, but still helps if you see someone swinging in with a bunch of equipment, or maybe they just have 1 artifact creature. Got ourselves a Saproling Migration, Root Out, Overcome. I forget. I think there was another card that was similar to this, but I can't remember what it was, and I might. Oh my god! I know Izuri, the single green Izuri has an ability similar to this. I can't remember what it's called now. Damn it! But that card I would consider replacing if I had another copy and I remembered the name of it, and that would be very helpful. Got Fell the Pheasant. Now here are some of the cards that I actually no, this is not the one that I'm going to consider removing, but Search for Tomorrow. Now onto the cards I'm going to consider removing from this sort of little section that I remembered enough to point out. There are probably a couple in the enchantments in another section, but anyways, we have Nissa's Judgment, which considering removing it mainly just because it's a lot of mana for something that's kind of coincidental, not coincidental, something that's very circumstantial. There's a fair bit of counters in the cube, but as I think now, I don't see much of a point in using this when I could put in literally anything else. I would rather put in a bear. Actually, I'm probably going to put a single vanilla bear in here instead of this, because it's better. We have Glissa's Scorn, which this is a foil. Love it, but issue not so much about the fact that it's destroying an artifact, but it's the fact that it only destroys an artifact, unlike the Return to Nature that we just saw. Oh, sorry, throat dry. Unlike the Return to Nature we just saw, which, you know, has an issue in that this only does one thing, and if you're not playing against someone with artifacts, it's a dead card, so, you know, I just kind of, as I think about it, you know, it doesn't really have much of a place in the cube as I thought. We have Plane-Wide Celebration, a lot of mana for, I mean, could kind of do something, but once again, 7 mana, I feel like there's better spells I would rather put in the cube. And then, this one is Titanic Growth, mainly just because I think I'd rather put in a Giant Growth to just have a sort of cheaper option for does basically the same thing, except instead of +4/+4, +3/+3. And now we will move on to the creatures. Now here's where it may seem a little bit underwhelming, simply because some of the stuff in here is a bit more filler. So once again, I'm going to point out anything that I am contemplating removing. Here we have Beanstalk Giant, first of the many adventure cards I have in the cube, and I love adventure in the cube. It looks really cool, and, you know, it gives a lot of versatility, gives you a lot of variety, and, you know, an extra creature. Reclamation Sage. Foil Soul Swallower. I think this was an intro deck version. We got Territorial Allosaurus. Grave Robber Spider, specifically for the Graveyard archetype. Acidic Slime. Elvish Mystic. Pollen Bright Druid. Rock Shambler. Got a Nullhide Ferox. I remember people losing their mind when this first came out. Got a Keeper of the Fables. Noose Constrictor, considering upgrading it to a Judge promo. I mean, not Judge promo, an FNM promo, but I'm not too sure. We got another adventure card, Lovestruck Beast. Taiju Blightblade, which I am considering switching out with a different elf rogue that I have for 1 mana with Death Touch. Just does more, so, you know, I'm sure you can see why it is that I'd want that. By the way, something that I've recently added into the cube is I enjoy the party mechanic from Zendikar Rising. So cards that have I believe it's Rogue, Warrior, and Wizard, and Cleric. So I like those subtypes, and if cards are good enough, I like to try and squeeze those in there in the event that they make more of that with the D&D set coming out. Here we got Hero's Bane. Love Hydras. Ain't a magic without Hydra. Elvish Visionary, Arboreal Grazer, Overgrown Armasaur. Might consider taking this out, it depends. Occame Adversary, it's situational, but, you know, still kind of cool, so maybe take it out, maybe not. Leaf Gilder, Llanowar Elves. We got a Kazandu Mammoth, which is similar to the other Modal Dual Face card, which it can, in fact, enter as a land. We've got a Feasting Troll King, Brawn, Foil Snare Spinner, got a Thrashing Brontodon, very good in Standard, glad that they've made this. Garruk's Harbinger, got a Woodborne Behemoth, Silhana Wayfinder, Sir Farron the Hedgehammer, Naga Vitalist, which I might decide to replace with an elf that it's got hexproof as long as it's untapped. So I might just do that because it can do any mana regardless if you have a land or not that taps for it or not. So you know, a bit better than this. Got a foil showcase. I don't know if it's showcase adventure. Two Unveiled Treefolk, which love Treefolk. Viridian Corruptor. Might take this out purely because of it having Infect. Got a Sunblade Elf. Got a foil Corrosive Ooze. Is that showing a foil? I don't know, but it is in fact a foil. Got a Yavimaya Shepherd. Garenbraid Carver. Roseborn Acolyte. Might take this out because I'm not a huge fan of it, but you know, it's got its purposes. So you know, the adventure mechanic definitely gives it a big boost. Colossal Dreadmaw. May take this out if I get better, but it's kind of a mean card, honestly. Got a Nemesis of Mortals. Got an Elysian Caryatid, Warden of the First Tree, and now here are some cards I'm gonna probably take out at some point. Vorst Claw, 6 mana for stuff that could honestly do, honestly more stuff could do better. I just kind of have it in here because it looks like it's Phyrexian. Got a Ravenous Daggertooth, once again, just could maybe do better, but you know, the 2 life still kind of good. Crawl Foragers. Do I really want to pay mana to just gain a couple life unless it's like I have like half the deck in the graveyard? Similar thing, got a Vigor Spore Worm, which has more staying power because you know later, because you know 6 mana gets a bit more, whereas Crawl Foragers probably just gonna end up going with Spider Spawning. And then last, Migratory Greathorn. I just don't like Mutate. That's just about it, why I'd take it out. Alright. Well, I hope you've enjoyed starting off looking through the collection of cards I have in my cube. Cube is never final, but so I will be making more additions to this as time goes on. And yeah, remember, leave any suggestions for cube cards in comments below. And goodbye. I will see you all next time. Make sure that your road always leads you to a safe hearth.